China has issued local government bonds worth 8.6 trillion yuan or 1.5 quadrillion won. So far this year, surpassing the 8 trillion yuan mark for the first time ever.
중국 지방 정부들이 올해 들어 지금까지 8조 6천억 위안, 우리 돈으로 약 1,550조 원 규모의 채권을 발행해 역대 처음으로 8조 위안을 넘어선 것으로 나타났습니다. Let's have a compact look at this news first of all.
Yeah, so financial experts are attributing this surge in the local government bond issuance to the issuance of refinancing bonds to repay maturing bonds. So, we'll have to explain what bonds are to explain that. But basically, a bond is an investment opportunity. So countries or governments will give their citizens an opportunity to invest a certain amount of money. Let's say, for argument's sake, like you invest 1,000,000 won, and then you'll get a interest rate that you receive when you get your money back. And usually it's a long-term thing. Like it'll be like 5 years or 10 years. Now, what they're saying here is some of the ones that they're doing right now, it's not necessarily just because they need the money, but they need the money to pay back some of the money that is expiring now.
So they're paying back debt with more debt.
Exactly. What's the old saying? Something like you're borrowing from Peter to pay back Paul.
Yeah, exactly. Bonds. Well, why don't we get right to our first vocabulary? Government bond.
Yeah, so like I said, a government bond is an opportunity for citizens. If you're investing, let's say like a 1,000,000 thing, then there'll be an agreement. So let's say you can have this, maybe it's a 5-year bond. Then after 5 years, it depends on what the interest rate is. And depending on how reliable the country is to pay back that bond, the interest rate can be higher or lower. But it's usually between, let's say, 1% to about 12%. And it is compound interest as well. So after the 5 years, you're not just getting like, the 1% on the investment. It's compounded each year so that, it should be a significant amount of money when you get it back after 5 years.
Exactly. 자, 번드가 채권이죠. 그래서 여기서는 government bond는 국채가 되겠고요. 이 헤드라인에 나와 있는 local government bonds는 지방 정부의 채권을 얘기하고 있습니다. And so far this year, already, they've surpassed the 8 trillion yuan mark.
Yeah, that is so far this year, meaning up until now. We don't know what's going to happen later on. But if we're counting, because we're saying so far this year, then we're counting everything from January 1st up until now. So during that period, these are what we're talking about.
Right.
If you could say, well, so far today, we haven't had sunshine. You could say, so far this month, we've had an increase in mosquitoes. So far, we're talking about a time period based on how far back you're going with the time.
네, so far 하고 나서 언제까지인지를 덧붙이면 되는데요. 그냥 so far라고도 해도 되죠. So far라는 게 지금까지 라는 뜻이고 so far today, 오늘 지금까지, so far this month, 이번 달 지금까지, so far this year는 올해 지금까지가 되겠습니다.
And a common expression you'll hear is, so far, so good.
Yeah, that's right.
Up until now, it's been okay. How are you doing? Well, so far, so good.
That's right.
We haven't had any problems yet. Who knows what the future will bring, or you don't want to jinx yourself.
Yeah.
But up until now, everything's been okay.
아직까지는 괜찮아 라는 뜻으로 so far, so good 이렇게 말합니다. 다시 읽어볼게요. China has issued local government bonds worth 8.6 trillion yuan or 1,500 trillion won so far this year, surpassing the 8 trillion yuan mark for the first time ever. And let's move on to the next headline.